Hey guys, so this time I'm going to show you a little application using Ionic. I recently updated, like 20 minutes ago, the gulp SAS because I was having a compilation error. This application was built several weeks ago. So since I updated my Angular and my CLI Angular and my Node versions, I got a problem with gulp SAS that is installed with this version of Ionic. This is the Ionic 4. Okay, so all this is the latest versions. So the only problem was that I had this Node 12 error. So in case you have the gulp SAS error, that let me show you pretty quickly if I can find it. You can see that it did a lot of crap. Okay, so if you have this not SAS does not just isn't supported yet for your current environment, you just need to uninstall the Node SAS and restart it, okay, with your current version of Node, and that will fix the problem. Took me several minutes to check that, but as a side note, in case you update your Node versions, you have that problem specifically with Ionic. So let's say first post, and this is the first post. Okay, let me click here and let me add this. Okay, let me press F12 there so you can see all this is going on. I think this image is pretty big, right? Okay, then let me show you my package.json, how everything is working. You can see all the dependencies and all the dev dependencies. Okay, so as I said, and as I always say, you will get these files. Okay, let me close this. Global and variables, and also this. Meanwhile, it's almost done, 94%. I forgot to add the little, loader, but you can add it whatever you want. You can do it however you want. And you can see we retrieve this. This is using Firebase. Okay. And we can edit. Okay. We can even change the file. And of course we can delete. I'm not going to delete this one right now. So let's go back. Let's click there, and so let's start. This is going to be, I'll try to make this fast, but not that fast, so you can understand what is going on. Okay, so remember that this is an Angular application wrapped in Ionic. Okay, so all this I already okay, let me open another one, and let's go to my channel. So you can see, because you will see how it works with Ionic, but this is pure Angular. Okay, in this case it's Angular 7, the version that Ionic manages. So let's go to my channel. Let's go to videos. So let me see. Because the most important thing here is the file uploads, or the most complex thing. So I have another one, if I can fucking find it. Okay, this one is with the file uploads, and you will see how I try to explain this as in depth as I was able to. So you can have these two, you can check these two videos to see that. Let me close this. Okay, to understand better the file uploads with Firebase. But right now, let's start with the first part, that this is the main. So let's start with the service, okay? You already know how this works. So we create the functions, as this is a simple application with Angular, a simple service, a regular service. So we get the collection, okay? You should already know all these, but okay, because this is Ionic, you may be thinking how to do it with Ionic. So let's go to app-module.ts. It's all the same. You can see it's all the same. We initialize the app. We import the modules we need. Okay. From Angular Firestorage for the storage and the bucket. You can see the value of the bucket here. Okay. Our environment variables to be able to access our application. And that's it. That's all you need to do here. This is just as you are used to do it with regular Angular. So let's go to home page TS. Remember that the page TS is just like the component TS. So on init, we're going to call the function we have on the service. If I don't, it should allow me to open if I double click. Okay. So we have this public get data that is getting all the information from the collection posts, okay, and is returning that. So we are going to get, when the application starts, the snapshot changes inside these posts. I'm consoling the posts. Okay, this is not it. Okay, so let's go back to it's just showing the, okay, it's not really making all that, so it's just showing the subscription, because here in home page I'm using async, okay, and I'm getting the background image and setting that to be the cover. So let's actually go to Firebase. As I said, I was, well, I can't remember if I said in this recording, but I wasn't thinking about recording anything. I was feeling sick, but now it seems that I'm getting better. Is Ionic root, I think. Let me see. I don't want you to see my other projects because some are okay. So you can see here we have the post, the document, and this is the first post with the cover image. Let's go to the storage, and we should be able to see the image we have. Okay, let's move that away. Okay, so I'm getting the cover. I'm passing the ID to this router ID, that is this URL, not URL, this link, and I'm using the fab icon that is showing the little add button, that is this, okay, and it's using the router link to go to add post. So when I click this, I go to this page or component. Okay, so this is working here. Remember that you need to wrap the content inside this ion content, and to be able to have the toolbar, you will need to get the toolbar and pass the title. You can also add other things, so you will see. And that's it. This is the first part, the home page. You can see that it's not different except for the ion content, the ion fab, but you can check all those inside the Ionic documentation, how to add all this. This is all about functionality, not about this little design things. So you can check that. It's pretty easy to integrate. So let's go now to how the user would manage, would continue to work with this. So if I click here, I'm being redirected to the add post page. Okay, and this is managed by the routes. Okay, maybe next time when I use another Ionic, this could change, or this would change, since the other version of Angular, the version 8, uses something like this, creating a function. Okay, and we use the import. I will show you this later. And here we add the this part. Okay, and after adding that part, we will use then. Okay, that it seems to be and we're going to say the module we have, we're going to load the page module. I'm going to show you this later with another example of. This is how that would look, okay, in Angular 8. But we are not using Angular 8 in this version of Ionic, so let me remove all that crap and let's save that again, and you can see how this is working. So let's continue. Okay, let's wait for this to refresh. So here we have a form, a reactive form. I'm going to use always reactive forms, not the regular forms. So we have the add post. Let me show you the first, the HTML. You can see that we also have the header and the toolbar because we want this to appear. You can have these icons around doublet circle, I mean, that is this one that has a link inside that just returns us to the main page. The rest of the content is inside this Ion content. We can use articles or sections inside this to manage our the application semantically. So this is just a regular form with Angular. On submit, we're going to run this post. This is using the form controls, okay, for the title, content, and we're managing the file using this control name cover. But we're getting the files inside this, so this is really not being used. As I said, check the video that I have with how to manage file uploads with Firestore, and you will see how this works. But I'm going to make this a little quick, and in case the form is not valid, we're going to set the button to disable because we don't want to send anything that is that is not filled. So let's go to the post page. You can see it's a regular Angular. All this is regular Angular, and I'm going to repeat that like I don't know 100 more times, because if you have worked with Angular, Ionic is not that different. It's not different. So we import form group, form control, and validators. Okay, from the form groups, we need those, and we import the service we have that is inside here, Firebase service TS, that is getting all the information and all the functionality that allows us to connect to our collection inside Firebase using Firestore, of course. Let's continue. We create our instance of the Firebase service, and here we're managing the file. We need to get the file from the event target that files is an array. So if I come and click here, this should get me, let me click this one. Okay, I showed this before. You should already know this. This is an array. In this case, the array only have one file. That's why it says length 1. I'm consoling that on change. So every time we change the image, we click there. We're going to console that. As I said, this cover from the validator is not really being used only, and it's only used to check if the form is valid. So let me refresh this. So we remove the file, and let's say second post. This is the second post. So if I try to click here, you can see that I even added this little icon, the cursor, I mean. So that's the only job the cover has. Why the hell this thing is? That's the only thing I need. Oh, okay. I hate that thing. This form control name cover is only doing that. It's only allowing us to know if the form is valid or not. So let's click this Elmo and the submit. So we manage all the files there. The file uploads. So let's go to the service and the create post. That is what we are performing now. The action we are performing now is getting the object from the is here is the add post. After we click submit, this is the function as it says here that is being that is going to run. Still updating. That is going to run when we click the submit. So we're going to call the create post, passing the data. The data is just the form that the form values, and passing this image, since the image is not being stored or not being retrieved from this control name. We're using this special handle input that, in case you missed that, is this change event. Let me close this. Let me go back. No, let me go here. Okay, and we're storing this image with the array of files in this variable, and that's what we are passing here. So how this is working is getting the object, that is the form object we're passing, and we're getting file, although you could say files because it's an array. And from that array, we're going to get the zero index array, the first element, and we're going to allow only that, only the first element. So we're creating as you can see, I copied this from the storage video I made, the file uploads with Firestore or Firebase storage. So we're creating the file path using the date, this I forgot the name of the sign, and the name of the file. So after that, we are going to get the reference from the file that's being created. So we're going to call the storage. This storage, that storage is, let me check. The storage is our Angular Firestorage. Okay. We get the reference from the file path, the path that we are going to create. We get that reference, and we create the task that is going to be the upload task using the name of the file and the image that is this to be the actual reference to the image. So here we're creating a reference, and here we're actually uploading the file with that reference. Okay, that is the name plus the date and this little dash. So we get the percentage using this, using from task the percentage changes, and we pass this to this upload percent that is inside, I mean it's above here, that is going to be upload percent that is observable and number observable. This is going to allow us to add feedback. In this case, my only feedback is this, that is being also got redirected, that is this console, but you can see the video about, as I said again, as I said before, the video about Firebase storage, that I show you how to add the little spinner, and you can do that, the exact same thing you can do it here. So we subscribe to the percent, to the upload percent, and we pass the percent. So that's why that's that X that is actually this one. This is what is going on, but it's being consoled from the percent. So we check the changes, and we after the application, not the application, that part of the code finish. What it's doing, we're just going to console the file being processed, or the file was processed. You will be redirected. That is what is going on here. But we need to get the image in order to create a post. Okay, all this inside all this is only the image management. Okay, we need to retrieve the image using get download URL, to subscribe to that, and to wait for the URL to pass it into our this.download URL, so we can pass that inside the cover. So this is the actual creation of the post. We are passing the title, the content, the cover, and the file reference, because we need that in order to delete the post. Okay, that's why we are adding the file reference. That you can see is the file path. So from the object we retrieve from the form, we are getting the title, the content, and this is the cover that is being the image we downloaded after it got uploaded. So as soon as it gets uploaded, we are going to download the information of the image and set that to the cover property of this new post. So we can have, let me click here, this image here. Let me refresh. Come on, come on. Okay, we have the second image. Okay, this Elmo. Let's go to database, to Firestore, and you will see that we have to post. This is the URL that we downloaded that has the image. Okay, so we did that in order to show the image here as this little background. And here is we're adding the post to the collection, setting the percentage to null to remove the behavioral subject. Okay, that is this. All this you are going to see how it works in the video I made before. This is the same structure, and that's it. We navigate to the main route. So you can see we got redirected to the main route. So let's actually go and check this post. This is the next action we're going to look at. Getpost is only going to get the document using an ID. We're going to pass the value changes because at that moment we don't need anything else. So how this is working, so we're going to go to post, to post page. You can see this is just how we are showing the title, the content, and all that. Let's go to post page. And you can see that the post page has these controls. Okay, we're going to take a look at this. Just click cancel, because this is the first part. We need to import action sheet controller from Ionic Angular. Also, we need the activator route and the router. The activator route, because we need to get the params. Let me show you. This is what we need to get. Once we click here, we're going to get the URL from this post, the URL, the ID from that post, and pass it to the URL. And this is what is going to be used in order to get. Okay, these are the videos I was checking. And that is going to get the, as you can see here, the param is going to get the ID, that is this part of the URL, and that is what we're going to use as soon as the application starts. That is going to run this current post, get current post, that is only calling get post from our service or Firebase service or Firestore, and passing this current ID, that is what on where we are storing the param, the ID. Subscribe to that, console that. Here you can see, and set this current post to that post. This current post is what we are using in order to show the rest of the information to the template. Okay, let's go back to post page. But how this what the fuck? Okay, let me remove that. How this is working? When we click this, we get this little tab, or I don't know how to call that. So we need to use this async function that is going to be called present action sheet. We're going to create a this constant, that is the action sheet, and await for the controller to create this using this this part. We're going to wait. That's why it's going to be an async. It's going to wait for Ionic to create this part of the application. With the header, that is albums, I forgot to change that. You can change it. This is in the documentation, Ionic documentation. So each part of this buttons array, each object is one of these buttons. Okay, so you can see the delete, the edit, and the cancel. The delete is going to have the role destructive. We're going to give the icon trash, and the handler is the actual function that is going to be performed once you click that. Okay, so the delete is going to call the delete post. Go to the file service, to the Firestore service. The delete post is only getting the doc ID and the image. That the image is the file path. Okay. So as you can see, we are getting this current ID from the route, that is the ID of the post we are checking. And since we already have at this point made the call to get the post, inside this current post we have the file reference, and we use that in order to get the image. So remember that we have this file reference here, that is where Firebase is storing the image. So we need this in order to delete the image, okay, or to change it. The edit is going to have this text edit, the icon of paper, and the handler is going to navigate us to the edit and passing the current ID that we have so we can update the post. The other one is the cancel. Only the important thing here is the role cancel. That is going to just remove the little these controls. Okay. So let's click controls and let's go to the other part before deleting. Let's go to edit. So you can see we are being redirected to a similar page. So I cannot, I won't go in details because it's just showing almost the same thing with just a form, almost the same as the add post. So this is the edit. Let's take a quick look. You can see that is a form. When we click the submit, we're going to get all the information we have from the form. Okay, and that information, of course, is coming from Firebase. At this point, you can see that the inputs and the text are filled. So let's go to edit page. We are creating the post form with the title, content, cover, and file reference, because that is how we are going to pass, okay, the information. This is the add post. Sorry, let's go to okay. So we can see we have the title and content. Let me check. Yeah, that's the only thing. Let me close this because it's, and let's go again to the edit page. So we're going to take a look at this in a second. Let's continue. We are getting the files the exact same way how we got the files with the add post. So this is being performed here. So let's actually click this and change it to this one. You can add anything to display the name or that. So I really don't care about that. So you can take a look at how to do it. It's not hard. Okay. You just store the name in a variable and show that, and that will be it. So first post updated. Let's change only that, and because you might be thinking why you're not getting an error using the file ref if that is defined but it's not filled, because once we get the application starts with this component, once the component starts, we're going to call the getpost, that is the current using the current ID that we passed. Okay, we're going to subscribe to that and set the value of everything. So set the value to from title, or for the title, content, cover, and file ref to what we actually have returned from the document. Okay, so that's why Angular isn't complaining about not having this, because as soon as we have the component mounted, well, we pass this function so we can set all the values inside the form. So everything is filled at the moment we click submit. Everything is already filled, and if we change this, it's going to update everything. Okay, and once we click the submit, that is this submit, that should be called update, we're going to call the update post, that is going to call the update post with the same name, passing the form data, that the data is going to be is going to have all this, the ID and the image. Okay, so let's see how it's handled inside the update. Update. So we're going to retrieve, or we're going to get the post object with information, the post ID, and the file also the first file. So if the file is null, we're going to return we're just going to update, okay, passing the data. That's the only thing. We're just going to update it, and that will be it. Okay. Now, if the file is not null, meaning the user already clicked this, as I did before, and selected another image, we're going to get that image again using, we're going to use the date, the dash, and the name of the image to create the file path we're going to store in. And we're going to get the reference, or actually create the reference and update to that reference, okay, using upload, I mean, to that reference using the new image. Also get the percentage, the same thing. So let's actually go to the finalize. So once the file is uploaded, we get the URL from that file, that new file, and we're going to file. So we delete the old one we already have inside the post object. Remember that at this moment we still have the old instance of the file name inside the post object. So at this moment in time, we still are able to delete using that reference. Okay, so we create the reference to the storage. This is our bucket reference to the storage, and we use that reference to call the child method, and the child method is going to accept a if I can see an object. Well, in this case, is going to just get the reference. It's going to accept and returns a reference to a related path from this reference. Okay, so it's going to return us a reference using a reference, and we call delete. So delete returns a promise, and we console the image was deleted, and if that was true, and if not, we console the error. So also at this after that happened, after we deleted the image, we still have the new URL. So we create this shouldn't be new post, it should be updated post. So we get all the information again from the form with the updated values and the updated URL. Do the same, and that is going to set the new post using the ID, the document ID, and navigate to the main page. So after we update, let's click submit, and let's click F12. Let's wait a second. Let's actually go back, check post, because I don't know what's going on there. Controls, edit, change file. I think I know what is going on. Okay, you can see that it got the updated, submit. It should be where is this thing? So it should be consoling. Don't tell me that it's not working. Let's check the Firebase storage. We have only two images, that one and that one. So it's actually not updating. What the hell? So in this case, Let me refresh. Post updated. This is the first point, the post, and now updated. Click submit. Let's go back. First post update. You can see that we have this check post. Okay, it's being updated. Let's go to, let me close this fucking crap. Let's go to this one and we can see the database is the first post. Now updated, first post updated. So it's actually not working with this. Let me, okay, what could be happening here? If it was working, I was, maybe I updated, after I updated the node version, something broke. So let's actually see where that error could be, because controls, edit, change file, this one, open, we're getting the file, submit. Let's see. Is you can see that it's uploading the file 100%. So what's going on? Okay, you can see that it got updated. Check post, we have this one. So let's actually come back here and check this one and change it also. Controls, edit. So we're going to change the file to, oh no, this one. Yeah, open, second post, updated. Let's see if there's a problem with this, and updated, just so we can see the changes. Submit. And there's something wrong here because it's performing the submit, but you can see that it's not post page 47. No, but that is the, so the problem here might be this. Let's say console.log code exec. Compiling, recompiling. See, we're almost at the end, so we can actually take some time to check this. You can see the code exec. So the problem might be that so it's updating, but not when we make the submit with the changes here. Although you can see that the changes happened, so it's going to redirect me. It's going to console that the image was deleted, the other image. Controls, edit. So we have this edit. So that's odd. So it's working except So how this thing? So all this should be working. This file is equal to null, but it's not null. This is odd. Second post, let's remove that. Let's add some stupid things. Because when I click submit, let's see. Maybe the problem is that it's not, it's taking too long to add the image. Give me a second. Okay. Maybe that is what's going on because I checked this and everything was working. I just updated my versions yesterday, and today I faced the problem that I showed you at the start of the video. So I didn't see any other problem. It's going to take a while because it's a big image. So I'm not going to cut anything. Okay, it's already done. It's going to redirect. Second post, and all that. You can see that it changed. Controls, edit, and this is going to be the last one just to check. But you will see that, let's go to storage, that we only have 2 images. Okay. This one and this one. So change file, change to this one, click second post, update it again. Do this. Let's actually add a lorem ipsum. Okay, here some lorem ipsum. Submit. You can see that we are getting the code exact. Okay, maybe the problem is the timing. That is not an exact. The timing is not exact, and that's why it's kind of taking a while to process the image. So it does all that. For some reason, it doesn't add the image, the upload task, but updates everything else. But right now it's working. You should change this, and it should change all the information. Okay, see? You can see that it changed everything. So maybe it was a problem about timing, about the service, the Firebase storage. So yeah, you can see that now it's working. So let's check the delete. After all the hard work about checking all this, just delete, and we get redirected to the main page. Okay, let's go one more time to add another post. I already have that. Let's click this. Let's click another one again. You can see, oh, maybe the problem, you can see that it's not giving me the file. So let's come back here. Let's click again. Another post. Let's Okay, file, this one. Okay, you can see that maybe this is a problem with Ionic. So you saw that it was working great, okay, but now it seems that it's not getting the image, or maybe it's a problem with my file system. I'm not sure. Let's click open. No, you can see that it's not giving me the ability to change. I mean to change to submit for some reason, even though we have the image here. So that's odd. Let's come back here. Let's actually refresh everything. Let's see, we don't have any problem. Doesn't seem that we have a problem. Say post, not post. Oh, post, choose a file. You can see that it's working. So let's say, let's actually come back here. Now I'm going to, I already have this. Let's say another post, choose a file. Let's double click this one, okay? Or maybe my mouse is, I don't know. So this should, no, it shouldn't be that. It should be that for some reason it's not detecting the changes. Okay. Let's double click with that. Let's click submit. It's going to submit that. Maybe that was the same problem we had with the update, with the edit. So I don't know. It shouldn't be doing that, and there's no reason why it should be not allowing us to store the file here, because it's not about the code. It could be the browser, my system that I don't know. But it seems to be working now again. Let's wait. Okay, you can see that. Also, these ones are responsive. Okay, kind of responsive, yeah, only because of that. So remember that Ionic allows us to create these wrappers for. So this is how it would look. Or let me open F12 so you can see how it changes. Okay. Okay, this is broken. But what size is? Okay, 320 is at the very least that I try to keep things. Okay, you can see that it's not breaking. Controls. You can see how it adds this little overlay and all this. Let's click edit. Okay. Of course, this is not responsive. This is not working the way it should be. But you can see how this thing works. You even saw some bugs that shouldn't be happening actually. Maybe there's a bug with how to manage the files with Ionic, so I'm not sure. And if you're wondering how I change the backgrounds, you need to go to variables to create the gradient inside this Ionic background color, to change the color of the background, this part. And if you want to change this part, the navbar, I have that on the global CSS, I think. Nope. So maybe that actually changed all that. Let me just cut this and let's say 222. Nope. And it's compiling, it's refreshing, and you can see how it changes. So it actually changes everything else, including this. So yeah, the toolbar color. Okay, this is the action sheet. You can change the color with this. The action sheet, remember that is when we edit. No, when we click these controls. Okay. And also forgot one more thing. Sorry about it. This is just the end of the video, so let's just take a look at that. I was trying to remember if I was forgetting anything else. Not edit, is on post. So this is the actual thing that is making the controls to appear. So you need to add this button with a click event to the present action sheet that is actually not module but TS. That is the async function I showed you before. Okay, so I think that's it. You can see how we integrate this with Firebase and uploads. So in case I see some other thing that I want to build with Ionic, I will do it. If not, I think this is going to be the last video for at least in some time. So we're going to start with Angular 8 next week, I think, or maybe the other week from the next one, the other one. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. Yes, yep, and see you on the next one.